Hello. You, what's up, bros and sissies?
Tim, why have you got those glasses on?
Because I'm hiding from the newspapers and the paparazzi.
Tim, I think you're quite safe here. I wouldn't worry too much.
No. One of them was at the door this morning.
I think that was the postman.
Yes,
Tim.
he was disguised as a postman, but I could see through that sham and weak disguise. Even though he stuffed letters through the door, definitely not a postman. Definitely paparazzi stalking me.
Tim has got a bit, shall we say, big-headed since last week with all the fan mail.
My head.
That he wrote to himself.
My head is the same size it has always been. We can measure it if you like and prove it.
No, it's okay, Tim. Thank you very much anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, let's get on, shall we? Behave yourself, please, Tim.
Yes,
hope that you are all okay and that you've had a good week. The weather's not been too great this week, has it really? I mean, it kind of was really nice up till Wednesday, and then it was a bit grotty, and it's been very, very windy, and we've kind of tried not to be blown away, haven't we?
Yes,
when we've been outside.
I've not really gone outside. It's been too windy for sharks.
Yes, it is a bit windy, but it's supposed to be getting better. So fingers crossed, next week we'll have lots of sun back in the garden. And because, do you remember I said that I had ordered some plants for the pond that Mr. Jordan built, and some snails? Well, one of the plants has come. One of the pretty pink water lilies has come. So we're just waiting for the other things. And when they come next week, which is half term, which is very exciting,
ooh, good.
We will hopefully put them in the pond.
Yes.
So that will be good, won't it, Tim?
It will.
You can help as well.
Dig a hole in the bottom of the pond and stick in the water lily and...
No, you can't dig a hole in the bottom of the pond.
Why not?
Well, because then you'd make a hole in the lining of the pond and all the water would seep out.
Oh.
You just put them in they sort of come in baskets, I think. I haven't opened the box, to be honest, so I'm not too sure. But we'll find out next week. I'm sure everyone's really excited to see that.
It will be thrilling.
Anyway, right, Mrs. Jordan does like to ramble, I know.
Yeah.
I actually went to school last week, which was
Did you learn anything?
Oh, I didn't go to learn anything, Tim. I only went in on Tuesday, and to see all the lovely boys and girls that have been still going into school because their parents are key workers.
Mm.
So I went in on Tuesday and had a really nice day, and saw lots of our little friends, and it was somebody's birthday.
Ooh.
I know, fancy being at school on your birthday, and the sun was out and we had a really nice day. It was Stephen's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Stephen.
And Stephen brought in lots of lovely cakes for everybody, which was, I know they looked...
Did you bring one home for me?
No, I didn't. Sorry, Tim. Never mind.
No.
Next time, maybe. But they looked very, very delicious. And we just had a lovely day. He was very excited about his birthday, and he'd got a computer for his birthday, didn't you, Stephen? And he was so excited. I know, he was so excited about that.
Wow.
And we sang...
Does it show YouTube?
Well, yes, it probably does. Ooh. He'll be able to see you on there.
Ooh.
Yeah. We all sang happy birthday to Stephen in the hall, first of all, in the morning. And then we went into the classroom, we did some maths and some English, and then we had a really lovely play outside because it was so nice and sunny. And do you know what? One of the little girls, she found a 4-leaf clover.
Really?
Yeah.
Very, very hard to find.
I know, and 4-leaf clovers are really very lucky, so she was very lucky. And so I did ask her if she could find me one. and Stephen was helping, but they didn't manage to find one, did you? I know. Never mind.
No luck for you then.
No, next time we're in school, we'll see if we can find one. I will be on the hunt every time I go in now. And we were making daisy chains and lots of things like that, so it was really nice. But in the afternoon, we did some art, and Mrs. Robertson had a really good idea of making some really lovely leaf collages. So you could make an animal or anything you wanted, really.
A shark.
Yeah, you could have made
Did
a
anyone
shark.
make a shark?
No, I don't think they did, Tim. I know.
What?
I know you must be very disappointed.
But naturally, you would think of a shark.
Well,
first.
you see, Stephen
Yes.
did an amazing leaf collage, and we're going to put it up on the screen now.
Oh,
Look, there it is.
I can't really see it because I've got sunglasses on indoors.
Tim, I'm taking them off. It's ridiculous. You don't need these on indoors.
It's a bit
That's
bright now.
better. Everyone can see your lovely face. So Stephen did a fabulous leaf collage of a reindeer.
Oh,
Look, you can see the antlers and everything.
yes.
It had lots of glue on it, didn't it, Stephen? So you couldn't take it home because I think he'd brought his scooter to school to go back home on, and he had lots of other things to take back home with him, so he couldn't manage a really gluey picture. So hopefully you got that the next day.
Next time, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing your lovely picture up on the screen, Stephen. It was fabulous.
We enjoyed it.
And really hope that you had a lovely birthday and you enjoyed the rest of your day.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, so let's move on. I'm going to read a story today. Now, we're not going to have another Horrid Henry story. Thought we'd have something a little bit different. Well, we can do another Horrid Henry.
I like Horrid Henry.
I know you do. But I thought this is quite a good one to read. Somebody told me it was a good book, so I thought, well, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Now, it's called The World's Worst Teachers by David Walliams.
Ooh.
And it's got fabulous drawings. It's illustrated by Tony Ross.
Ooh.
So we're going to hopefully put some pictures up as we're reading along.
Are you in that book, Mrs. Jordan?
No, Tim, I'm not in this book.
Are you in a different book?
This story
The
today...
World's Loveliest Teachers.
Yes, I am, Tim. This story today is called Mr. Pent's Balls. Now, I'm not going to read the whole story. I'll read half of it and then next time we'll read the other half because it is quite long. So I don't really want to bore anyone and more than I usually do.
I just make myself comfortable.
Thank you, Tim.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Pent's Balls. Once upon a times table, there was a maths teacher named Mr. Pent. He certainly looked like a textbook maths teacher with his wire-rimmed glasses, brown suit and comb-over. However, Mr. Pent was anything but your average maths teacher. Oh no, he was one of the world's very worst teachers. That was because Mr. Pent's every waking moment was taken up with one dark obsession. Balls. He had a deep loathing for them. But where did this strange fixation with spherical objects come from? Our story begins when Mr. Pent was still a child. It is easy to forget that teachers were once children.
Yeah.
But in most cases, they were.
Ooh.
Some babies you knew immediately were destined to be teachers because they were born with a teacherly scowl of disapproval on their face. Normal baby, teacher baby.
Do the faces, do the faces.
Oh, okay, a normal baby. A teacher baby.
Oh, yes. I've seen the photos of you when you were young.
As soon as he was put in his cot, baby Pent was counting the beads above his head.
Ooh.
Soon he was writing complex mathematical equations on the wall with his alphabet spaghetti.
Wow.
It was when, as a toddler, he began giving his parents algebra homework that they knew for sure their little boy was destined to be a maths teacher. One day, when Master Pent was just 10 years old, he suffered a terrible accident. The boy was struck on the head by a ball.
Oh no.
Not just any ball. A demolition ball.
What's a demolition ball, Mrs. Jordan?
Well, it's a big, heavy ball that's swung by like a crane
Yes.
to bash down buildings.
Oh, that must have hurt.
Yes. As balls go, this has to be one of the biggest and heaviest there is. After all, it's made of steel
Ouch.
and swung from a crane to destroy buildings. Oh, that's what I
you're
just
right.
said.
Well
I
done.
was right. Bish, bash, bosh. Being a child whose fate it was to become a maths teacher, it was not a surprise you learned that Master Pent had no time for toys or games or anything that might be considered fun. No, this mathematics-loving child filled his days with times tables, prime numbers, fractions, quadratic equations, trigonometry, and for most of us normal folk, the absolute dreaded long division. One rainy afternoon, Master Pent was on his way home from his school maths club. Maths club was the world's most boring after-school club. Master Pent, in fact, the only member. Other strong contenders for the world's most boring after-school club are Punctuation Club,
Ooh.
Standing in a Puddle Society, Basket Weaving for Beginners, Transporters Anonymous. Oh no, not train spotters, not transporters, Train Spotters Anonymous.
Yes, I was going to say, because I'm a member of Transporters Anonymous. And it's a lot of fun.
Sitting in the Dark Society, Staring at a Blank Wall Club,
Mhm.
Traffic Cone Appreciation Society, Latin, Latin, Latin. In Maths Club, Master Pent had just been learning all about pi, also known as...
Pie.
Oh, now I can't say that because it's a kind of diagram, but you'll see it on the screen. Or 3.14. Pi is even more boring than it sounds. And it sounds cataclysmically.
Cataclysmically.
Oh,
I got it right.
Cataclysmically boring. Oh my goodness,
What flavour pie was it, Mrs.
that's
Jordan?
Sorry?
What flavour pie? I like pie.
No, Tim, not a pie that you eat. It's
Oh.
called pie. It's a
Oh, you mean the other one?
It's a maths.
The ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter.
Yes, that's it,
I'm a
Tim.
mine of information.
That's it. Oh, actually, it explains what it is. It's a mathematical constant, the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. Are you asleep yet? Are you boys and girls asleep?
No, it's thrilling.
If so, then good night. If not, read on or listen on. When Master Pent spotted a huge steel ball, he was eager to put to the test this whole circumference diameter nonsense. As he fumbled in his pencil case for his ruler, he failed to see that this huge steel ball was, in fact, swinging straight towards him at speed. Whoosh! It was meant to destroy the block of flats that was standing right behind him. Instead, it struck the boy on the head. Hard.
Oh.
Really hard. Clunk! Master Pent was knocked out cold. That was just as well, as the ball batted him into the air. Whiz! He flew, interestingly enough, exactly 3.14 miles before smashing through the roof of a garden shed.
Oh dear.
Smash!
Oh dear.
Crunch! Doof! Master Pent didn't wake up until a whole week later. He discovered he was in hospital with an incredibly sore bandaged head. Ouch! He yelled. My head hurts! The boy had to keep the bandage on for a whole 6 months and looked as if he were wearing a nappy on his head.
Is that not when
Ha
you wear
ha
nappies?
ha, nappy boy, laughed the other kids.
That wasn't very nice, was it?
No. Harumph, he harumphed. Ever since that fateful day of his accident, Pent detested balls of any kind. The sight of anything round was enough to bring back terrible memories of that great big steel ball. Clonk! So when he grew up and became a maths teacher, Mr. Pent was dismayed to find that St. Aub's school, where he taught, there were balls, balls and more balls, each one reminding him of the worst day of his life. Balls here, balls there, balls everywhere. In the playground, footballs, tennis balls and even ping pong balls would bounce at him from every angle. Boing, boing, boing. On spotting one, his eyes would all but pop out of their sockets. His face would go a shade of purple. His glasses would steam up and his comb-over would stick up on end.
Comb-over?
Well, a comb-over is, well, sometimes older people who may be going a bit bald on the top, a bit like Mr. Jordan.
Yes.
Except Mr. Jordan doesn't have a comb-over. So they've got a bit of a
No, he's far more stylish, isn't he?
bald patch on their head, and they've still got hair around the sides and the back, and some people then comb over the long bits at the side to cover the bald patch.
Well, it sounds very, very nice. Very fashionable.
That's what a comb over is.
Do I have a bald patch, Mrs. Jordan?
Well, you're bald all over, Tim. So you can't do a comb over because you haven't got anything to comb over. Where was I? And you've put me right off.
I'm sorry, but these are important questions that have to be asked.
Oh yeah, his comb over would stick up on end. Balls! Mr. Pent would shout as he foamed at the mouth. Oh dear. The teacher's hatred was so great that he stuck warning signs up all over St. Aub's, on every wall, door and window. He even stuck one to the dinner lady's bottom.
What? That's a bit rude, isn't it?
Some of them said, no balls allowed on the playground. No balls whatsoever within a 100-mile radius of school. Oh my gosh.
No balls on dinner lady's bottom.
No. Mr. Pent would confiscate all balls on the spot. Then he would lock them up in a special ball cupboard at the end of a long corridor next to his classroom. The sign read, "Ball cupboard, beware, contains balls." Over the years, Mr. Pent stuffed hundreds and hundreds of balls of all sizes in there, and there was hardly any room for any more. If any pupil dared to ask him, "Please, can I have my ball back, sir?" the teacher would smirk to himself before replying, "Of course, child. Thank you, sir. Just one moment, if you please." Then he would reach into the cupboard for the ball and pop it with a pair of compasses that he'd concealed in his hand. The air would spurt out like a lazy bottom burp. It says, one of those bottom burps that is in no hurry to leave. It steeps out over a period of seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, or even, in extreme cases, years. These ones are hard to blame on others. Short, sharp ones have an element of surprise and a dirty look at someone close by is enough to deflect the blame. So a close friend informs me. Oh, that's a bit rude, isn't it, Tim?
It is. You're very strange. Sharks don't do things like that.
I'm sure you do,
No,
Tim.
no. You would know if they did, because on wildlife programs, when you see sharks, you've never seen a stream of bubbles by them, have you?
Does that mean that they don't do things like
Sharks do not do things like that.
that? Okay, I'll have to take...
Nasty habit that you human hairless monkeys have.
I'll have to take your word for that,
Yes.
Tim. I may look that one up. There you are, Mr. Pent would say as he handed the deflated ball back to the child with a grin. After he'd finally confiscated every single last ball from every child in the school, Mr. Pent went further. Now anything spherical was on his list. The teacher stalked up and down the school, confiscating anything that was round. Marbles. Balls, these are mine! A space hopper from under a pupil. Boing. Balls, that is confiscated. A gobstopper from the mouth of the gardener. Balls, spit that out. The globe from the geography classroom. Balls, balls are forbidden on school premises. A suspicious-looking pea from the dining hall. Balls, that pea could have had my eye out. A string of pearls from round the neck of the headmistress, Mrs. Stade. Balls, headmistress, balls. You of all people should know better. Balls. Yes. It was a confiscation
Cavalcade. Is that it?
I was going to say cavalade.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
I don't know. I've never heard it before.
Cavalade?
But then I am a very young shark.
Cavalcade.
Cavalcade.
What does cavalcade mean? Do you know?
It means
I
lots
don't
and lots and lots and lots, like a big procession of.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Tim, for that.
I
didn't actually
ate a
know.
dictionary this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Well
Can't
done.
stop using long words now.
Oh, well done. Pent was on a roll, which was odd for someone who hated everything that rolled. Things came to a head the day the boy named Roland, who happened to have a rather round face and head, the full force of Pent's fury. Balls! Sorry, Tim.
Yes.
The globular shape of your head is a contravention of school rules. But, sir, protested Roland, it's not my fault that my head is round. I was born this way. No buts, boy. You and your head are confiscated.
Wow.
With that, Pent picked up the boy, tucked him under his arm and marched off down the school corridor before stuffing him into the cupboard. Squish, squash, squish, bolt. Knock, 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 let me out, cried the boy. Please, I have exams. Not until your head changes to a squarer shape. Balls! Needless to say, this was the tipping point for the pupils at St. Orb's. With their friend Roland still stuck in the cupboard, they were now furious with Mr. Pent. It was impossible to live under this tyranny any longer. We're going to leave it there today.
Are we? Cliffhanger.
It's a cliffhanger. I know you...
What's going to happen
Well,
next?
I'm not going to tell you, but we will read that next time.
Oh.
Shall we?
Oh,
Did
yes,
you
yes,
enjoy
yes.
that?
I did. Very
I
much.
quite enjoyed that as
Apart
well.
from some of the long words.
Yes, apart from some of the long words that Mrs. Jordan didn't understand. But I'm glad you're here, Tim, to help me out.
Oh, I always...
After you are my sidekick.
No, that's the wrong way round, Mrs. Jordan. I think you'll find you're my sidekick. And it's in writing, isn't it? Everybody?
Anyone that doesn't
From
know
the fan letters last
that has
week.
yes. Now Tim got some fan letters last week,
And they were very good and very, very complimentary.
and one of them said I was his sidekick.
Yes. So there it was, in black and white. Mrs. Jordan, officially my sidekick.
I'll just let him believe that, just humour him. Anyway.
Yes, sidekick.
I really enjoyed that, so
yes.
Thank you for listening, children, and I hope that you enjoyed it too.
Yes.
And do you know what? We would love, actually, to hear any suggestions. So please email us with anything you would like. Anything, if there's any pictures you want us to show, anything exciting you've been up to, any drawings, any work that you've been doing that you're really proud of, anything at all. Any suggestions for anything you'd like to see us do?
How about designing a sidekick costume for Mrs. Jordan?
or a costume for you, Tim? A sidekick costume for you?
No. A superhero costume for me. I'm the Batman and you're the Robin in this partnership.
Yes, whatever you say,
Absolutely.
Tim. Whatever you say. So please, it would be really lovely to hear from you. So until then, I don't think I've forgotten anything, have I? Have I forgotten anything to say?
I don't know. I've forgotten.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So until next week, I might see some of you, actually. I might see some of you this week in school. So that would be really nice. We can say hello and you can give me anything you would like to show on our Make Me Smile Club channel. That would be great. Oh, and Mrs. Mason and Mrs. Hughes say hello as well. So I'll give you a wave
Hello,
from
Mrs.
them.
Mason. Hello, Mrs. Hughes.
Yes, hello. And I will see you really soon.
Yes.
And you will as well, Tim.
I will.
So say goodbye, Tim.
Goodbye, Tim.
Goodbye, guys. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Keep safe and well.
Keep safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.